Hello, 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 everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to bring you this video. My husband and I just got back from an amazing 15-day trip in Dubai. This trip has been on my bucket list for the longest time, and it was so great to finally be able to do that trip, as well as take my husband on his very first international trip. Okay, so his very first plane ride, I took him on a almost 30-hour plane ride. But it was lots of fun. And so since I've gotten back a few days ago, I've gotten so many questions about the trip. And so what I wanted to do was I was going to post a vlog so you guys could kind of see what we did and all the fun we had on the trip. But also what I want to do is I want to mix in tips as well. So for this video, everybody, welcome to my blog, by the way. If this is your first time, I'm Tammy Washington Desencion. I'm an American expat living in the Dominican Republic. I love to travel. I also love trading and building businesses. And so definitely check out the rest of my channel if you're interested in those three topics. But for today, I'm sure you came onto this video because you had some sort of interest in what is it like to travel to Dubai, what are some things that you should take into consideration, and what are some things that you really should know. And those are the questions that I want to answer today on this vlog. And stay tuned at the end because I'm going to actually show you the vlog of us traveling to the UAE. Okay, so definitely, guys, I'm going to do this as a series, so make sure that you watch each part because it's going to give you more tips for your amazing trip to Dubai. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. Now, I also want to mention I got sick on the trip, so please excuse me if I sound a little bit congested. It's just because I did get sick, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, how you get sick going to the desert? I know, right? Well, I'm going to tell you the extreme temperature changes, okay? First of all, because it is the desert, very, very hot, and then everywhere you go in Dubai is highly, highly, highly air conditioned. So going from the heat to the cool to the air, it was a lot. And so both my husband and I got sick on the trip, but that's okay. So if you can bear with my voice, we're good to go. All right, so here are a couple of things that you should keep in mind when traveling to Dubai. First and foremost, it is a let's say anywhere from 25 hours to about 30 hours from us coming from the Dominican Republic. Most of you guys are probably coming from the US. So just take that into consideration. When you get to Dubai, the time difference is going to be very different. And so make sure that you just consider what that type of travel is going to do to your body, okay? So I have seen some travel agents. Of course, now that I've been to Dubai, everywhere I go, I see people advertising that they're going to Dubai, and I have seen some travel agents advertising trips that are 5 days long. I do want to caution you a bit. If I could make any recommendation to any person going to Dubai, I highly recommend go for at least 10 days. At least 10 days. We went for 15 days. That was about the perfect amount of time for us. We had a great time, and it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm ready to go home yet. You know what I mean? But the main reason why you want to give yourself some time is because the first 2 to 3 days of your trip, you're going to be extremely exhausted. All right. So when we got there, I remember the day after we arrived at like 1 a.m. in the morning. And I'll get into COVID requirements in a moment, but just so you know, when you do land in Dubai, you're going to have to take a COVID test, no matter, even if you're bringing it. You have to bring your negative COVID test, but once you get there, you're going to have to take another COVID test. So keep that in mind. So by the time we had to go through the line to take the COVID test, by the time we went through immigration, we had to go through an extra immigration because my husband is Dominican. And haters, I don't know why they don't want people from the Dominican Republic to travel. So everything is always harder. But anyway, so we had to go to 2 different things for that. And so by the time we made it through the airport, got our bags, made it to our hotel, it was actually about 4 a.m., something like that. And so we were tired from all that traveling for hours and hours and hours. And then, ate something and went to bed. And we had planned, we knew we were going to be tired. We had planned to have lunch with our friends at like 2 p.m. Well, we woke up at 2:53. We were like, oh, 2 o'clock, we can give ourselves time to sleep in and get ready and all that kind of stuff. We woke up at 2:53. And pretty much that's how it was for like the first 3 days, because you get back to your hotel, even like we would get back to our hotel like midnight, but we couldn't go to sleep. Like we'd be in the bed, but we just could not go to sleep. And so you're not falling asleep until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, because day is night and night is day, right? Because your body has to adjust to being on a different time zone. So if you plan to go for a 5 day trip, like you're going to be just on the wrong time zone the whole time. So all that to say, I would go ahead and plan at least to stay for 10 days. I know a friend of mine just recently said she's going to be staying for 8 days. I'm like, yeah, that's good. But I would probably do no less than that if you really want to enjoy your trip. Okay, so now that you have planned your time for your trip, I want you to also take into consideration all of the paperwork that you've got to get done and ready before you go. We had extra paperwork because my husband is Dominican. So for those of you guys traveling with somebody from another country and they're not American, please take all of that into consideration. So here's a couple of things that you need to know, okay? That's different. I travel all the time right now, and I travel on the antigen test when it comes to COVID. And if you're going to Dubai, you must have a PCR test. Must have a PCR test. And I know for us here in Punta Cana, that test is about 3 times the price of the regular antigen test. So definitely take that into consideration, okay? And the antigen test, you can get it back in like 20 minutes. The PCR test, it was literally 24 hours. And because I had just gotten back from the US, it was just, it almost messed up our flight. So keep all of that into consideration. You do have to have a PCR test. When your test goes, when you print out your test, again, most of you are American, so this doesn't matter, but this was an issue with us. Um, the test has to be written in English. Okay, so I live in a Spanish speaking country, so our tests are written in Spanish, but luckily they had everything translated to English next to it. But on the section where it says like the actual negative, they had it written in Spanish, which was like negativo or something like that. And when we got to Qatar, they almost didn't let us on the plane because of that. They're like, it's not written in English. I'm like, but everything, come on, you know that says negative, not positive, right? So just take all of those things into consideration. Must have a PCR test, must be written in English. Depending upon the country that you're going through, make sure that you check what their requirements are. Okay, please make sure that you check to see what their requirements are. I know in Spain, like we traveled through Spain, there was something that we had to download and print before we got there that we had to fill out. And I had everything ready on the way going because I was so worried about them stopping us at the airport, not letting us go for any reason. I was just checking everything twice, you know? And then on the way back, I completely forgot because I was like, we're going home. Well, we almost missed our flight, you know, going back because we had to go through and fill that information out online, and the internet wasn't really working well in the airport. So take all that into consideration, okay? Have all of your paperwork ready. All right. So I know Spain, you have to do something online. Qatar, you also have to print out a form and fill out, even though they didn't take that one from us. But so every airport you're going through, make sure that you know what the requirements are. So look through the city, and it's not always together. So I would have to go to the website for the airline, then I have to go to the website for the country. So just make sure you take all of that into consideration. If you do Qatar Airlines, they are pretty good about having the requirements on their website. Definitely go to the website. If you try to call in, the customer service, in my opinion, was not great. I did not get good customer service. However, at the airport and during the flight, the customer service was very good. All right. So just make sure, guys, that you have all your paperwork done and everything ready for COVID. Do note also, guys, in order to go to Dubai, if you are American, you will get your visa upon arrival. Now, I didn't have to pay extra for a visa, but I have heard of people having to pay like $100, $150. I didn't. My husband did have to get a set visa before we got there. And so I have a contact in Dubai where we actually got our visa through for him. Americans, again, you can get your visa upon arrival, but please note that you do have to have proof of medical insurance. So all of that paperwork I was talking about you wanting to have, you do want to make sure that you do have proof of international medical insurance. If you do not have international medical insurance, again, you need to get medical insurance from Dubai before you arrive, okay? And so the person who did our visa did all of that for us. He got the visa, and then he got both of us medical insurance, and it was a great price. It was very affordable. Another thing to take into consideration is please make sure that you look like your passport. Okay. Now, I have never really had an issue, usually because I'm traveling to the US, so it's probably not that big of a deal. Um, but when I was in line to get into Dubai, going through customs, I had no problem going through. But there was a young lady the young lady behind me actually was wearing colored contact lenses. And so they looked at her and they were like, are you wearing contact lenses? And she was like, oh, yeah. And they say, go to the bathroom and take your contact lenses out. Like they wouldn't even let her through, even though clearly it was the same person. You have to look pretty much exactly like your picture when you're going through customs at the Dubai airport. So don't do anything crazy to yourself before traveling. Another thing about going through customs, this is different than for some countries. Like, again, I go back and forth to the DR all the time, US all the time. You do have to have 6 months left on your passport in order to enter the country. So for me, that's one of the reasons why I had to go take an emergency trip to the US before I left. Like literally like 4 days before I left, I had to go back to the US, go to Houston, Texas, get an emergency passport, not because my passport was expired, but because my passport expires in February, which is actually what, 4.5 months after I arrived in Dubai, right? So it has to be at least 6 months on there. And when we were on our excursion, when we went on our safari, there was a man who, his wife basically got turned around at the airport and they were like, you can't come in. And she literally like basically missed their trip because she didn't have 6 months left on on her passport. So please make sure that you check the date of your passport. Along with having all of the paperwork that you need, guys, please make sure you just have extra stuff, okay? That just to be on the safe side. And I think for me, my husband and I, we were just being extra safe because, again, it's almost like they don't want Dominicans to travel. And so we went into it with the mindset of they're going to be looking for a reason to say no because we've been through so much with trying to plan this trip. And I mean, we went through, and this is all in the Dominican Republic. So this is for anybody Dominican or coming from an island or something like that. We went through customs, we went through the gate agent, we went through everything. And when we were getting on the plane, showing our ticket, letting them scan our ticket to get on the plane, the girl taking the tickets let me through fine. And then when she got to my husband, it was almost like she looked at his passport and was like, "You're like how can you be getting on this flight?" And she gave us grief. And he had to pull out. She was like, "Well, show me where you're staying in Dubai." Like, first of all, do you even have the authority to ask somebody that? But thank God I had everything printed out. And so he pulled it out and showed the hotel where we were staying in Dubai. And then she let us go. So all that to say, I would have absolutely everything that you possibly can print it with multiple copies just in case. Because honestly, every step of the way, we actually were held up a little bit. When we first got to Santo Domingo airport, we had to show our negative PCR test. And they were like, okay, great. And they said, now where's your vaccination cards? And we were like, first of all, it's one or the other. Either you're vaccinated or you show the PCR. And they wanted to see both. Thank God we had both. Okay. So make sure, guys, like even if you have a negative test, have your vaccination card just to be on the safe side because you don't want somebody taking you off the plane. Okay. Then we got to customs. Okay. Again, I was fine. But when they got to him, they were like, oh, we see you're traveling through Spain. You have to have a visa for Spain. And thank God we had gone through all the stuff that we had gone through before with the Spanish embassy, applying for the visa, getting denied for the visa, trying to figure out why we got denied for the visa. All of that to say and note that our layover was less than 4 hours, and therefore, no, you do not need a visa because you're only transiting and going through the airport. And I actually wanted to have that printed as well, which I didn't, but we told him. And then he, I guess, called somebody and was like, oh, okay. But they would have stopped us, and then we get to the gate and then the girl's like, well, can you show me where you're staying? And like, why? So just all of that to say, my advice is anything that you're going to do, anything that you had to show or any paperwork that you had to fill out, make sure you print it and bring it with you. We always take extra copies of our passport, but we even printed a copy of our marriage license just to be on the safe side, because we've been married for less than a year and I haven't changed my name yet. So nothing matches, nothing, there's nothing besides our rings that say that we're married. And sure enough, in Qatar, they asked to see our marriage license. They were like, "Or do you have anything to prove that you two are married?" So, y'all, seriously, I call it traveling while black. I'm just gonna say that because I think that's just ridiculous. But listen, better to be prepared and then make sure that you have a great trip, right? I also recommend, guys, please get to the airport at least 3 hours ahead of time because of all of the things that I've already mentioned to you. Okay. So, even with everything that we had going on with our flights, we still got there in great time. I think we still were there like maybe 2 hours early. And as we were going through the process, because of course it was my husband's first time flying, and I was explaining to him, you know, the closer you get to the trip going, the more full the airport gets. So imagine if everywhere that we went and somebody wanted to see something extra and all this stuff, imagine if the airport was full, we would be so stressed out. So you want to get to the airport 3 to 4 hours ahead of time, just in case. Just in case you got to take another PCR test, anything. All right, so just make sure that you guys do that. Okay, and so going back to the fact that you're traveling for almost 30 hours on a plane, highly, highly, highly recommend, guys, dress comfortably. Please dress comfortably. And I thought, because I travel a lot, I thought I knew what I was doing. I wore like a workout shirt, like a loose workout shirt that's very soft in material. And then I wore workout pants, which are very, very tight, right? Well, I forgot, when you're on a plane that long, your legs, like your feet, like expand. They actually have socks that you can purchase in stores like, I think, like Walmart, Target. Probably you can get the socks where actually it will help you with that, so that your feet don't expand as much. I guess that's how it works. I don't know, but I will say that the first leg on Iberia from Santo Domingo to Spain was 8 hours. We spent about 3 or 4 hours in the Spain airport, then went to Qatar. And that flight from Spain to Qatar was another like 6.5 hours. And so that's when I really started to feel it, was on that second flight, where it just felt like, oh my gosh. The first flight we had window seats and it was just us. The second flight we were actually in the middle. Um, and so it was just, I got to the point where I was a little bit miserable and I just felt uncomfortable because my clothes just felt tight on me. So on the way back, I wore very loose clothing, almost like jogging pants. That's the kind of stuff that you want to wear. My husband wore jogging pants. He was very comfortable. So you want to make sure that you're dressed the right way. And then also, one other tip that I do want to give you: if you're flying Qatar or if you're flying Iberia, and I'm sure some of the other airlines, when you try to check in for your flight, they will try to charge you extra to get like a window seat or to get seats together, because me and my husband were trying to get our seats together. Don't know why they weren't originally put together, but whatever. So we called in and they couldn't understand what we were saying. I don't know why. And they kept saying, well, you got to go, whatever. They wouldn't do it. They said, you got to do it at the airport. And again, because we got there about 4 hours early, we were able to check in at the gate, have the woman change our flights so that our seats were together. And so for most of the flights, we were actually on window seats, but for that 6 hour flight from Spain to Qatar, we were not. We were in like that middle section of the plane, and so it was hard. So definitely, you want to make sure that you are dressed really, really comfortably for your flight. All right, and lastly, guys, definitely make sure that you choose a great airline if you're going to be traveling for that long. Again, we did Iberia, we did Qatar. We liked Qatar better than Iberia, but it is what it is. Qatar is one of the best in the world. Definitely lived up to its name. We did have one issue with getting our luggage back. I don't know what happened when we checked our bags on the way coming home, but we got our luggage back and stuff was just spilling out, and they had just basically wrapped a plastic bag around it. And so I'm gonna write a letter because it was crazy. Somebody else's stuff was in ours, like just some little stuff. So I was like, listen, this is unacceptable. But other than that, the food was great, the environment was great, the movies were great. Like, it was a really great, it's probably, Qatar Airlines is probably the best flight I've ever taken as far as flying, and I have flown a lot in my lifetime. So With all that said, guys, I really hope those tips help you in preparing for your flight to Dubai. And welcome to our vlog. Welcome to our Dubai trip. And definitely leave us a like, leave us a comment. Let me know if you have any questions because I'll be happy to address them, answer them for you. And then also, we did a lot of great photo shoots. So follow me on Instagram at Tammy Washington de Cencion. Okay, enjoy the vlog. Have fun. What's up, guys? We are on our way to Dubai. Oh my gosh. Listen, crazy trips are the story of our lives. And so we are in an Uber trying to catch the bus that's going to take us to Santo Domingo so we can catch the airplane that's going to take us to Dubai. I had to get a last minute passport. So I got home, what, like 24 hours ago?
24 hours.
So I had to fly to Texas, get a last minute passport, fly back. We had to spend the night in Santo Domingo, come back to Punta Cana, make sure we had everything packed, because I started packing before I left, and get our COVID test. We had to get the PCR test, which takes 20 hours, not the instant. They wouldn't accept that. So, and we had like literally a folder full of things to print, okay? So I tried to get everything printed last night except the PCR test because we weren't going to get that until this morning. So that was the only thing we had to print. Well, the internet wasn't working. Hochi wasn't home because he was going to get his hair braided.
Did I too?
Yes. He's going to get his hair braided the night before. Anyway, so I had no internet, so I couldn't print from my wireless printer, so I had to get up this morning trying to print everything. We had trouble checking in and choosing our seats, which we're gonna have to do that at the airport because whatever. Anyway, so, oh my gosh, so we were getting everything ready, trying to get everything printed. We finally got everything printed. The PCR test literally came like, what, 10 minutes before we left?
10 minutes.
10 minutes before, and we were supposed to get it 8 o'clock this morning. So that was like what, like 12:30, something like, so like 4 hours late we got the PCR test. So we printed it, grabbed everything, ran out to the Uber, and as we're pulling up to the bus station, we see the bus leaving. So now we're driving like crazy in the Uber to the next town over where the bus picks up the next group of people to try to catch our bus to make it to Santo Domingo. We are gonna make this trip because
we're gonna do. Hey, you know, guys, I'm gonna tell you something nice.
Why are you talking in that voice? That's weird.
This is my voice.
Okay.
This is a new Hochi voice. Check out the YouTube channel. See you, man.
Gosh. We're going on Iberia. This will be my first time on Iberia ever. Yes. Hang on. Okay, baby. It's your first flight ever. Are you nervous?
I'm kind of nervous. We'll see.
Yes.
8 hours, so I'm kind of nervous. It's like, I don't want to say, slow sleep, hey, just be by myself, 8 hours without my wife.
Yes.
I think we're going to figure it out right now.
We're going to figure it out right now. It's going to be good. We're going to get seats together, and they have a Krispy Kreme. So I'm going to get a donut before I get on the board. We finally made it on the plane. We're sitting in economy class on Iberia. The seats are pretty nice. They give you a blanket and a pillow for the overnight flight. So, and TVs. I think it's gonna be good for your first flight.
Yes.
Yes.
16 hours.
Hola, bienvenidos a bordo. Para agilizar el embarque, por favor, coloquen sus mochilas, bolsas y ordenadores debajo de su asiento
I'm just gonna sleep
y sus maletas en los compartimentos superiores.
and watch TV tomorrow when I wake up and it's fine.
Lo antes
Yes.
posible.
Well,
Si su asiento se
let's do it.
encuentra en una
dinner service. I got the pasta. It looks really good. And cake. And corn on the cob. And hochi. Got the meats with the rice.
Good morning. Good morning.
Life was good. We had dinner. We had a nice snack. We had good movies. And now we're about to land in Madrid.
She's saying we have dinner. We have a good time. We have a good movie. But I'm saying she didn't want to have a good movie. Hochi have a good sleep.
Oh yes, that's the only thing. Iberia. My TV wasn't working right. I would press something and things just wasn't working. So I was watching his TV while he was sleeping.
Well. No, you watch the TV for 50 minutes and after you fall asleep. And I have to play my game. Or somebody laying me. And somebody's supposed to take care of me. And I'm the one doing it. Really? Yes.
Good to know.
That man, a man is the man everywhere you go.
That's right. Okay, first stop on the trip, Madrid. What's up, guys? So we have been in Spain for the last 3 hours, just hanging out at the airport. I'll put some pictures in there. Just so you know, we're going to Dubai next. We're about to line up for our next flight. We didn't have problems with anything. It's just like some of our paperwork, they're like, oh, it has to be in English. We're like, it is. And they're like, okay, but the word negative on your COVID test is in Spanish.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
But luckily, they are going to let us on the flight. Everything is good. Next stop, Qatar.
Qatar. My man, I want to see you there, Qatar, with me.
So we are flying Qatar Airways. So far, we love it. We are in the middle row of the middle of the plane, but it's okay. The seats are good. We got this cute little protective trip kit. Better headphones than the last flight. Well, I don't know. We'll see when we put them in if they work. And blanket.
Blanket is better. The current is better also too.
The pillow?
Yeah, the pillow is better. I said the quality of the TV is much better.
Yes.
It's much bigger.
Yes.
Oh yes.
Oh, mine is working this time.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's the camera views. Okay, so yeah, so far so good. Loving Qatar Airways.
Yeah.
We're here to make the greatest safety film for one of the most awarded airlines in the world.
For lunch, I'm trying the lamb. So we have yogurt, water, and I got apple juice. And what did you get, sir?
I have a soda with Jimboka.
And what did you get to eat? You get chicken? Ooh, that looks good. So me and Hochi always like to get different things so we can try each other's food.
Yes.
You want to taste? You gonna taste it? See if it's good?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. You know, I'm a good tester.
Oh, what?
I'm a good tester. I'm gonna tell you if it's good or not.
Exactly. Right. And that was the chicken, right? Okay, this is our second meal. Little chicken sandwiches.
Chicken sandwich.
And
Hochi alcohol again.
yes, cheers. And I got wine because I am so sick and tired of being on a plane right now. I need something to relax me. One thing we like about this flight on Qatar, they have cameras of the plane, or on the plane, so you can see what's happening with the plane so we're about to land. It's really cool, especially if you're like us, where we're sitting in the middle and you don't have access to the windows. You can still see yourself landing. I love that they have different movie selection types: Hollywood, Arabic, Bollywood, and African. That's cool. Love it. Hey guys, so we just got to the Qatar airport. We're about to get on our last flight of the day, but can I just say I was excited because this is the #1 airport in the world. It's amazing. They've got Apple computers set up, they've got cars, they've got like everything here. It's amazing. So I think this is like my new favorite airport.
Where is my
Hey guys!
wife?
Okay, so we did not get a chance to do the room yesterday on the first day. We were so tired, and all we did literally was go out to have like an early dinner with my friends. Then we hung out at their apartment for a little bit, and then literally came home. And so today I actually wanted to show you guys where we're staying. So we're staying at the Grand Bellevue Hotel in Barsha Heights in Dubai. And we have like a little studio apartment hotel sort of thing. I will say this, so we've already been staying in here for like over a day, so it's a little bit messy, but that's okay. We just wanted you to see it. So anyway, it comes with a huge closet, a couple of hangers, which we are actually probably gonna ask for some more hangers, just because of the fact that like we're gonna be here for a hot minute. So what I love about this little apartment, again, we just had breakfast, so excuse us, is that it did come with a stove. It does come with a washer and dryer. I think it's dual, which is pretty cool. On this side is a trash can, and then on this side is a fridge, which you can see we kind of went and got some snacks and stuff. So if you're going for more of a long-term stay, this might be cool. You know, we originally wanted like an apartment, but this ended up, I saw this and I was like, oh, this is cute, because I figured we're not gonna really be in the room anyway. We're gonna be hanging out in Dubai. So it comes with a beautiful, what'd you say, Hochi? Is this a king-size bed?
Yes.
A king-size bed, a desk, which again we've been using, and a beautiful balcony, as well as a spectacular view of the Barsha Heights area. So we've been here for just a little bit, but we are really enjoying it. And it is super hot outside, but man, it feels really good always in here. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed our travel experience. You probably noticed that we did not film actually arriving into Dubai, and part of the reason why was because I had heard ahead of time that they're not very keen on people recording and filming, and I was very nervous. You know, at the beginning of the trip, towards the end, I was filming everything, but you know, at the beginning of the trip, I was a little bit nervous and worried, so I did not film in the airport. But do know that Dubai has one of the most beautiful airports in the world. When you walk into the airport, as soon as you arrive, the first thing you see is the motto of the city, which is "Nothing is impossible," and that was a great start to our trip. And so, as we continue with this series, guys, you're gonna get to see all the things that we did in Dubai. And definitely, please like, subscribe, share this with anybody who might be traveling soon. Thanks for watching.